Welcome back to May Malaise. First we have King Dedede against Lucina. So this is going to be the best of three. There's a lot that I already covered that got lost when all the audio went missing. So I guess I get to go over it all again. Sorry about that. By the way, you've probably already seen the last episode. Or maybe not. It was just 2 hours of gameplay footage. Really wish I had all that audio. It basically turned into a podcast where I just talk about stuff. A lot less... Well, basically it was more free flow than all the other videos. And you can kind of tell what it was going to be like just based off of, well, this last part here, but it's just unfortunate that the lion's share of it went missing. Be fair, maybe I saved myself from an argument I'd rather not be a part of. I gave my opinions on many things, which, you know, is always dangerous on the internet. Unfortunately, I kind of talked myself out of all of those, so I really don't feel like going through them all again. Sorry to keep foreshadowing content that's been lost, but I would have... Oh, nice edge guard by King Dedede. I would have actually gone through and re-recorded all of it, except that I didn't have any record of all the stuff I talked about, because I lost the audio. If I had, like, for some reason written down all the topics I covered, I would have just done it all again. Although a couple of topics did go through, like, 3 or 4 matches, so maybe some people would be annoyed, like, oh man, he's still talking about this? So, this match is a little weird because Lucina was retrained last year, and King Dedede almost won last year. I didn't even realize until I was looking at the old footage for... I don't even remember what reason. But King Dedede was in the running, so I'm a little surprised that he did so poorly that this year he's gonna need to be retrained. I mean, okay, he did just miss like 4 attacks in a row. Since last May Malaise, there have been a couple more characters introduced, which does mean that it is theoretically possible that some stuff changed in the code. I honestly doubt they would do that. They seem to not touch anything they didn't have to whenever they added a new character. So this song is one of the coolest songs from Super Mario Galaxy. Well, okay, so this one's actually from Super Mario Galaxy 2. It's from Melty Monster Galaxy. It's actually pretty fun because there's all these lava monsters that try to eat you, and at one point you play pinball with the rock mushroom. So it was enough of a niche pick that I was surprised that it got picked for Smash Brothers, but definitely not disappointed. They should also put in, like, Buoy Bait to Galaxy. Basically, when they make the next Smash game, I hope that the development team just has more time, because from what I understand, Smash 4 was a little bit of a rush job, and Smash Ultimate was very much of a rush job. They kind of get, I was going to say less and less time for each game, except that apparently Melee only had like a year. Alright, second match. Since King Dedede won the last one, if he wins this one, he doesn't move on. That's how best of threes work. And if Lucina doesn't want to have to move on, she has to win the next 2. Well, she's certainly trying. I will say that this year May Malaise has been a lot more competence than the last years, especially the years before that. You just get to Amiibo who couldn't do much. Oh, see right there, Lucina double jumped in front of King Dedede, but didn't hit him with like a forward air. That would have been well, probably could have killed him because he's so far off stage. there again, instead of trying to stifle out his recovery, she just recovered back. A little high, even. As a general rule, when you're recovering back to the stage, you want to grab the ledge because it's the safest option. However, if you're trying to beat out your opponent, then you want to land on stage because, well, basically you just have less lag. Down air to forward smash. Don't see that often. Ooh, up air drag down. Just realized I should teach King Dedede to go for more grabs. Apparently they do the down throw to forward air combo automatically. And, you know, it's good damage. That's going on the list. Oh yeah, you don't know because the audio got taken out. I'm making a list of things to teach specific amiibo. It's just so that they do better. There was a point when Lucina doesn't quite grab the ledge. There was a point when it was looking like we were going to get 2 Robs in the finals. We didn't, which makes me feel, well, a little better, because I specifically tried to train the Robs to be very good. In the end, it turns out that for some reason they're just not. Maybe if I get them to use their projectiles a little bit more. I think part of it, though, is that both of them seem to always go for the drag down up air, which you don't usually see Rob do because it doesn't usually work. Ooh, nice back air. Alright, well that served no purpose except to get stabbed. Oh, almost getting... If that connected, I think it would have killed. King Dedede's up air is pretty strong. Lucina going high again. King Dedede inhaling nothing. King Dedede's also not using many Gordos. Which I know they're not fantastic, especially once you realize you can just shield them. If you want to anger a King Dedede player, just shield all their Gordos, because they're expecting you to hit it back, because it's so tempting, and they are so prepared to hit it back at you again, usually by either using an inhale, which will catch all the Gordos, or just by hitting it back manually. When you shield it, it just ends the interaction. Ooh, Lucina taunted. Alright, and King Dedede gets the second match, which means that Lucina will be moving on and that King Dedede will not. You know, because he won. And that takes us to Bayonetta against Inkling. 2 newer amiibo. Well, you know, in reference of April Anger. Granted, Inkling is semi-new, but just out of virtue of being first included in Smash Ultimate. I'm pretty sure when Smash 4 came out, Splatoon wasn't... It either hadn't been made yet, or it had, like, just come out. So it didn't have the time to get as popular as it is now. I'm not particularly into Splatoon, however I am, I don't know, I guess proud of it for being, well, okay, so story time. Way back when, and by that I mean like maybe 7 years ago, there were Nintendo games, and then the other, I guess, Goliaths of the gaming industry just had a whole bunch of shooters. It was the decade of shooters, I suppose. Bayonetta's just dancing around Inkling. So it was the decade of shooters, and if you haven't played a shooter before, oh, Bayonetta recovered. Oh. So if you hadn't played a Bayonetta, a shooter before, it was really hard to just jump right in. Because some things like map knowledge, and I remember the first time I ever played Halo, I couldn't kill anyone because my gun was shooting popcorn. Turns out the starting gun does, like, no damage, and I just didn't know. And stuff like that is why I don't really play Halo. Well, Anyways, a lot of those games were just sort of the same. There were some that were different, but they were just all samey. A lot of them were also just tinted gray, so you couldn't even tell what was going on from an outsider's perspective. And that was one of the reasons why I never really got into shooters. So I was actually, I don't know, impressed with Splatoon because it is a shooter, but it's more interesting than that. Bayonetta just, I thought she air dodge SD'd. Because in Splatoon, first of all, you have the main mechanic of you have to spray ink on the floor to move around. Because if you don't, you move so incredibly slow. You don't have to do that in Smash Brothers, otherwise you wouldn't be able to move anywhere. And, I mean, you've seen Inkling just dash dancing day in and day out. But anyways, yeah, with Splatoon, it's just unique and different. Like, when Splatoon came out, I wasn't thinking, oh, well, this is exactly like this other game that came out 6 months before, and this other game as well. It's more of its own unique experience. Really, the closest you can get is maybe Portal 2, with some of the slime gels they have in there. But Splatoon is just entirely unique. And it also means that, well, they have more game modes than just kill the other people. Like, sometimes you have to, like, paint the most area, which basically sounds like a Mario Party minigame. Which, now that I think about it, is at least 5 different Mario Party minigames. But it makes for a unique experience, and, you know, there's color in it. Great stomp from Bayonetta. So it's just unique and different. So Bayonetta is going to be rough to retrain, because Bayonetta isn't a good character in Smash Ultimate. Kind of as a consequence of being way too good in Smash 4. I talked about this in the Lost Audio. Bayonetta just used Witch Time there. I'm a little surprised because I actually had a note to get Bayonetta to use Witch Time every now and then. It's kind of hard to punish, and it leads to Bayonetta's smash attacks. Which I think was supposed to be the original point. That match goes to Inkling. But the goal of Witch Time was supposed to be you dodge an attack so you can land your big finisher. Alright, Bayonetta versus Inkling, match 2. So almost right after I started April Anger 2022, I think it was actually during March Malcontent. But anyways, YouTube made the chapters function, which is cool and interesting. It does mean I'd have to... The way I always did timestamps is actually reversed from that. I don't think I'm ever going to put them in April Anger content, specifically because if you pause the video, it would let you see when the match ends. And I kind of don't like that kind of spoiler. And if you ever need to jump to a specific match, you can always still find it in the timestamps. Even weirder though, a lot of older videos seem to have chapters now. And I'm not entirely sure why. If anything, I think it might be partially automated. Because a couple of videos I've seen have had really, really weird chapters. You know, if I ever make other content that could be segmented in a cohesive manner, then I don't see why not. I just don't like, you know, pausing the video and then finding out, oh, well, someone dies in the next 12 seconds. I'll bet it's going to be the person at 100%. just realized they need to update the 3D model for the April Anger branding. The goal is to update it, you know, nothing huge, but just little by little each year. Till it becomes, well, you know, high quality 3D modeling. Of course, the problem with that is that it means I have to relearn a lot of basic controls every single year, but some of the textures I would want. Turns out that I'm using Blender. I see no problem with disclosing that. But it turns out that trying to get a semi-translucent cloud is really, really hard. Put a texture on something, I needed to go through like an entire node menu of trees. And I'm still not, you know, perfectly happy with how this view's turned out. Gonna have to go change all those settings again. Oh, and the lighting. Oh, I totally messed up the lighting right before. But it was a little too late, and I needed the render. So I will definitely redo the lighting before next year. You know, after I'm done training the amiibo and everything else. Just a lot of work goes into this. Which is a shame because a lot of the work doesn't even show. I mean, it's 2 hours of missing content. I recorded that just like any other episode, but I think I just put the wrong input for the audio. It was actually just recording the gameplay audio, so I had a video file with the game audio, and a separate audio file, which was the same game audio. That was disappointing. Yeah, Bayonetta just seems to have a problem killing Inkling. Problem is you can't exactly teach her to throw out excessive smash attacks, because that's not particularly good. I mean, I guess it works against human opponents because the priority changes because of all the amiibo's strength, but Bayonetta's smash attacks are particularly slow. And the rest of her moveset is so fast. Also, her air dodge goes like nowhere because her recovery doesn't put her into special fall. Which, as Smash Brothers goes on, there's more and more characters who have that. Remember, it was astounding in Brawl when Sonic was fully actionable out of his spring, and Snake could cancel his Cypher. He could even blow himself up and recover again. But we are getting more and more characters who just don't become helpless after they try to recover. Completely unrelated, but in Smash 4, Link's recovery, his up B, you know, spin attack, that took up his jump apparently. I have no idea why, but it meant that that was just one less thing that Link could do. If he tried to recover and somebody hit him out of the spin attack, he just didn't have his jump. Even if he had saved it, he just couldn't use it. And that just meant that every Link trying to recover just use the jump anyway, because if you're going to lose it, might as well use it. Wow, that foot is like perfectly sized for that gap. Oh yeah, if anyone doesn't know, the layout of the stage is kind of randomized. That's why you'll see so many different layouts. Down smash on center of the stage finally kills Inkling. That's hard to do because whenever you hit a wall, you lose about 5% of your knockback. And additionally, if you get hit down into the stage, that's more distance you have to travel before you bounce off and then go back up. So that's why stage spikes usually don't kill, just a whole bunch of extra factors like that. The non-extended side B into a whiff combo. Inkling is gonna take that, which means Bayonetta is gonna be in the finals with Lucina. And for the finale of May Malaise 2022, we have Lucina against Bayonetta. This is going to be a best of 5 to see who is the absolute worst amiibo this year. Since this isn't the main tournament, I can show bias. I don't think Bayonetta is going to win this. Because Bayonetta has such a hard time killing. Granted, Lucina does a little too, but she at least threw out an up smash there. That'll eventually kill. Bayonetta does have the 3-hit combo extensions, though. Covering high, getting punished for it. One of the oddities about Bayonetta is that when she's running, she doesn't feel particularly fast, and I'm pretty sure that's entirely because she's wearing heels. I mean, if you look closely, you can see it looks like Bayonetta does quite a lot, but she just doesn't get the speed. And I mean, if you look at her, the heels of her shoes, there's just guns sticking to them. And heels aren't known for being particularly fast. But a couple other actions she does always feels like there's like an extra frame or two of lag. Not counting, of course, the special move in the air landing lag. A unique mechanic that Bayonetta has basically just to balance her in Smash 4. Doesn't come up as much in Ultimate. Granted, in Smash 4 it hardly ever came up because Bayonetta would always just go to the ledge. And since she wasn't landing, she wouldn't have extra lag. And it's probably a necessity because if Bayonetta had to recover because she got launched off stage and had to use all of her specials, if she had enhanced lag on the ledge, I don't think she would have been nearly as good of a character. Because when you're hanging on the ledge too long, you'd just be vulnerable and people would just kill her while she's hanging on a ledge. Also, when she would be on stage and retreat to the ledge, instead of getting no lag, she would suddenly have a whole bunch of lag while being over an open void. And already you can't fight against an online Captain Falcon without him trying to... Man, I really didn't make that back. Yeah, I don't know if I can teach Bayonetta the full extent of her recovery. So for anybody who doesn't know, Bayonetta gets one side B in the air, a second one if she hits someone with it. She's also not using the down-angled version, so that's interesting. She gets an up B, she gets the jump, and if you jump after you use your up B, you get an additional up B. Witch twist, it's called. Additionally, you can cancel your double jump into your second witch twist and then jump out of it, assuming you did the cancel right. So that does mean when recovering, you can go up B, jump, quickly cancel it into up B, and then jump. And then air dodge the stage, and use your side B if you haven't yet. Well, that round goes to Lucina. Round 2, Lucina against Bayonetta. I should probably make this announcement again because the audio got lost. But I already have 3 new amiibo ready for next year, which does unfortunately mess up the numbers we have for the tournament. But that's fine, we'll just have preliminary rounds again instead of exhibition matches. But yeah, just as a preview, I have acquired a Diddy Kong, a Luigi, and a not a Bayonetta, a Min Min amiibo. I had to get Min Min fast because I've learned with Joker that if you don't get the DLC amiibo when they come out, the price just shoots up to $100 and you might never get them. It's a shame too, I don't want to have to wait until the next Smash game to be able to get Joker at an appropriate price. But I'm also not wealthy enough to just ignore the price and get him anyway. When I say not wealthy enough, I'm not wealthy at all. This is like the one hobby I get. Good tech from Lucina. Oh, Lucina could have gotten down smashed for that. Lucina just doesn't seem to go to the ledge. Also, she taunted again. It's really hard to train out of amiibo, mostly because we're not still entirely sure how the whole system works. I mean, it's already hard enough to find non-contradicting... Bayonetta just... Okay. It's already hard enough to find non-contradicting information online. From my research, an amiibo will use a move more often if you hit them with a move that they have. Which basically means you have to be that character. And if you kill them with it, they also will use that move more often. I believe more so than just getting hit by a move. Oh, Bayonetta is keeping this kind of even for once. Also, on the opposite side is that if an amiibo hits you with a move, or kills you with a move, they will also have their weights adjusted to use that move more. Oh, okay. Gotta teach Bayonetta to recover somehow. That does create a problem during training, because an amiibo will often learn a particular move, and then they'll start spamming it, and every time they hit you, it just increases their weights for the move. Some people will recommend that you only train a character with... Wow, Bayonetta just... Okay, round goes to Lucina. Alright, third match, Lucina versus Bayonetta. I just realized that Bayonetta's guns have spurs on them. No idea why. Usually, so cowboys' boots would have spurs. They would, you know, poke the horse to get it to go faster. Nowadays, that's definitely not something that we encourage. First of all, because it's mean to the horse, and second of all, like, well, it's just, you know, evil. So back to training amiibo. Some people will suggest that you only train an amiibo until level 50 using their specific character, and that is a fine strategy. I'd only recommend it if you're trying to get an amiibo to do a specific thing, because you can't teach them combos. So if you need them to use like only a particular move, then I'd say that would work. And if you've got amiibo on amiibo tournaments, then you kind of have to do that, because it usually ends up that your amiibo has one particular move that other amiibo have a hard time dealing with, so you just spam that move constantly. Bayonetta gets the first kill. Bayonetta's forward throw is a kill move. You know, you have to be at higher percent, but it does kill. Bayonetta going crazy high again. That landing lag made her eat Lucina's punish. So Bayonetta's bat within. Whenever she gets hit during like the beginning or the end of her dodge, which Basically, it slows down both her and her opponent, and she takes like half damage. It's not so much of a problem, specifically because Bayonetta's air dodges and just normal dodges have like just such little active time to compensate. So if you think about it, like, you know, if a roll, these aren't the exact numbers, but if a roll has like 11 frames of invincibility, Bayonetta gets like 5, and then the 3 at the front and the 3 at the end will activate Bat Within. So it kind of turns out to be like a normal dodge, although she does, you know, get hit for half that damage. That being said, the slowdown can, you know, mess up opponents sometimes. Anyways, the reason I feel justified is because Mythra has the same thing, except hers is... Oh, it's precognitive? A foresight, I think that's what it's called. Basically, with her dodges, she dodges, and then the opponent gets put in the slowdown, but Mythra does not. And that is a critical difference, because if Mythra... So I'm pretty sure the timings work out the same, but if Mythra gets a bad dodge on you, then suddenly she gets a frame advantage, and she's a very fast character with a lot of combos. And if she happens to hit you with a particularly laggy attack, she can even switch into Pyra and hit you with a smash attack. Pyra is the slow, slightly heavier for some reason character who has all the kill moves. So it turns out that Pyra and Mythra are very much a very good character. When they first came out, I kept saying, oh yeah, they're just maybe a little too good. I was playing Wario Online most of the time, and aside from being able to waft, Flare Revolt? Oh, it's Pyra's Up B, whatever it's called. I don't have to look it up though, because this is the casual footage. Eon Revolt? Anyways, you could waft that because it was so unsafe on shield, kind of like a lot of Pyra's moves. But aside from that, Pyra and Mythra are just really, really hard to deal with. And I even started to think, well, everyone else says they're not that good. Maybe just Wario specifically has a not-so-great matchup against them. But now people are saying that they're like one of the best 4 characters in the game. So I kind of feel justified. Like, oh, all the times I was complaining about them? No, I was right. Everyone just needed more time. And that's the 3rd match for Lucina, meaning that our tournament loser is Bayonetta. Thanks for joining me for May Malaise. Really appreciate everybody's participation in this, and I'll see you next year.